This is Steve Zeltzer with Workweek. I'm talking with Branton Philipps. He was a worker at the Tesla plant in Fremont, California. And last month, Branton, you did resign from that company, Elon Musk company. You've been working there for many years. What led you to resign from Tesla Fremont plant?
A number of things, actually. Again, if you follow what I've done or try to do at the Tesla plant was try to get a union in there. We try to really work for the workers. It was fine a long time ago when you're fighting just one obstacle, but literally in the last year and this is political, but in the last year I've watched literally this uncensored maniac, that's Elon Musk, just basically start to ruin America. I just can't see it any easier than that. And it's one thing to go in every single day and work for an ideology that you thought was really good, and maybe it's still good, with the whole solar, with everything to do with transitioning to sustainable energy. But at the same time, you're looking at a CEO of a company that's just literally rooting America into the ground right now, running it completely into the ground. It's just disgusting. This is not the America that I want. And when I walk into the company the last maybe half a year, 6, 8 months, my wife just begs me to go in every day. It's hard when you have certain morals and ethics and you watch what he's doing, aligning himself with literally big oil and crap. And so and not only does his little ideology get muddy, but you see what a narcissist and what a complete hypocrite he is. And finally, when I went in there, I didn't see Tesla. I saw Trump. It's just as simple as that. And I had a choice. And so I made that choice. Morally, ethically, I can't work for that. It's just no good anymore. I can work somewhere else. That's just the bottom line. So I had to make a stand.
And you were trying to organize the UAW. How did he treat the UAW? I know that 700 workers were fired by him. Did he shut down that organizing effort?
Oh, of course. And completely, as far as I'm concerned, completely illegally. From the very jump, they did everything wrong. Probably under his complete condonment. I don't know exactly what went down, but I can tell you I was there, so I saw what went on.
What happened? What happened when that was taking place?
Oh, they literally, I call it victimized the workers. Anybody with a shirt on, which was our right to do back then, to represent what we wanted in that company, for the betterment of the workers. Anybody wearing a shirt that represented the UAW, they were literally not only literally found, organized blackballed, that was it. They were fired. They were just taken out. And all of them supposedly had, I guess it was their performance wasn't up to snuff. So everybody learned to every 6 months grab your performance reviews, print them out. That way you have them right there. Because the moment they let you go, you can't go in and actually say anything about how your performance was. And these were a lot of good workers. And of course, a lot of them were back in the newbie days too. Which, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. He's a narcissist with complete control. And part of this really kills me now. It just kills me. Is a lot of people, come on, man. This country's been misled pretty badly. We got 51% of the country has, been fooled again. We need to go back and look what happened with 1930s, in Germany. I swear to God, I know my history too well to see what's going on. To see all the mirrors of just how it's going and how it's just representing America. It's just killing me right now. It really does. It just disgusts me. I have no job right now, but you know what? I feel like a weight's going to lift it off me because I'm not going to that damn place anymore. Cause it was just too much finally.
And he is also in charge now of the government, the DOGE, and getting rid of health and safety people, CDC. What happened at that Tesla plant during the COVID pandemic?
Oh, it was terrible. Again, I watched all this unfold. Again, I like to protect workers. It was so funny. I was never such a big advocate until I came to Tesla. And I saw how they treated the people. It's terrible, especially young kids. I'm older, so I'm wiser. I've been in the working force 40 years. One of these young kids never has. It was just terrible how they treat them. I was just completely amazed. And again, they weren't, again, they're going to burn you out because they're young and you'll get hurt. Let's get somebody else. You just replace just a revolving door inside there. I set up at the very beginning. That's what made the union actually, just such a great, again, just look at the records. Look at your facts. UAW, the amount of safety compared to how Tesla was ran in the very beginning. And what happened? Elon Musk doesn't care about people. He really doesn't. I stated that in a news thing. Just basically, he doesn't have the workers' best interest at heart at all when he's going to open up early. And that was against the Alameda County CDC lady who said, don't do this until everything's in place, you know? And again, people want to keep their jobs. They don't know what to do. But I know that my wife is actually has a high, she's had a lot of different problems with her. So I wore a mask, and I still, wore a mask up to every single day till I left in January by wearing a mask. Because they really don't care about the workers. So that was just all on you, basically.
And he defied an order by the Alameda County Department of Health.
Yes, he did.
What did he say at that time? Because all the small businesses were being shut down, but apparently he felt he was above the law. He didn't have to shut down.
Exactly. And he actually, I would say, defied or dared somebody to come in and arrest him. If you have to arrest anybody, just arrest me, was his little quote inside there. Again, I waited another week longer until it was actually safe by the CDC to go inside there. But he went ahead and was pushed ahead. I mean, a lot of these young kids think they're invisible. I thought I was invincible back when I was young, too, and people are getting, a lot of people got COVID in there. A lot of people got COVID. I was just beside myself again.
And did he cover that up? Did he cover that up, the COVID pandemic at the plant?
He uses, again, through HIPAA. He uses, they will use anything they can to get and finagle what they want to get, just basically through. Whether there's nothing going on here, there's no infections in here, or I'm sorry, that's HIPAA. We can't tell you about that. But when you see a whole group of people that are gone the next day in that area, and you hear about that, they're off on COVID, you go, oh shit, And so it was just, again, you're working in a factory setting. I can't explain this enough to you. You're going to be bumping into people other times when you're working on those cars. And so not to wear a mask or not to be protected, it was just insane. And that's before you had the shot, so it was just insane. You're risking your life going in there. A lot of us were for that time until she cleared it, until the CDC lady went ahead and said it was okay to go in. It's just wrong. Him and Bezos tried to turn around and take out the NLRB. It's going to be disbanded. Again, this is a breakdown of our government fascism at its best. I'm sorry, but everything seems to be political nowadays, and that's just what it's come, whether it's work, whatever it might be. And this is just terrible. The oligarchs of the world are taking over, and I'm sorry, but the young workers need to get educated, because this is they need to get research. They need to understand critical thinking, because we see it right away, and we know our history. Most of these young cats, they don't even understand history at all. So they're being played over again. That's just the way I see it right now.
And
my own set of challenges, but I'm not walking in and working for that idiot anymore. That that selfish fool. Look what he's done to his children. Look what he's doing to America.
And black workers at that plant have said it's like working at a plantation. What does that mean? And how were black workers treated at that plant?
Very poorly. It's part of the problem, and this is, I think a lot of it stems from this. The young kids these days will use the N-word just repeatedly as a positive thing and just normal talk. A lot of older people don't like that, black and white. My stepson used to use it all the time. That kind of grated on me because it kind of bothered me. I'm old school white. That was never a good word. And for a lot of blacks, that is a terrible, terrible word. But I didn't understand in the very beginning, and they thought it was funny. And what's funny is they would tell the older gentlemen those kind of words. And it was meant as a joke, to be comical. This is not funny. And again, we never had any kind of sensitivity training ever in there. For the first 3 or 4 years, it was just rampant. People were looking at ladies up and down, just like it was a club scene inside there. It was wrong. And young kids had to be taught how to be respectful to other workers and how to act around other workers. That was never done. Not done until just lately. I've been here over 10 years. I can't believe I lasted that long, And again, if you don't start with he treated it like it was some little a startup company where you had 15 employees, gathered around a work area and everything was chill. His main thing was don't be a jerk. Was in his little manual. Well, he better learn that rule himself. But that was his main thing for how to act. No, that's not. You act respectful to other people. You take their information. I know the one guy in the elevator, he kept saying, please don't say the N-word around me. I come from the South, and it's just not a good word. And the kids were laughing at him, and it just killed him. And they'll go back to the plantation. It's like, oh, my God. And it's just they don't understand the sensitivity was never there. And again, you need to be in a work atmosphere where you're able to work without being bothered by other people. And supervisors didn't see that because they were never trained that way. Things are a little different now, yeah. But they were starting way behind the barrel a long time ago. It was just terrible insensitivity. The amount of just basic out racism. I understand he's Mr. Apartheid. You can't tell me he didn't grow up with black maids inside there and everything else for him. Come on now. The dad owned a mine. So.
And also there were a large number of injuries at that facility, and apparently he was engaged in workers' comp fraud. He was set up a company. Why don't you talk about the injured workers and the fact that he apparently did not want them to report to a hospital because it would affect his workers' comp claims?
Correct. One of the most inviting things about the UAW is their safety record versus how Tesla was in the beginning. People are dropping like flies. It's terrible. I know how to live properly. I'm not trying to. I don't know how to live properly, and my life is more important than my job. But a lot of the young kids, and I was that way too, and they're getting hurt. And the supervisors are just like, just work through it. They don't know what to do. They're told to push these cars out. So it was, again, push. If you hurt or something was wrong, well, look, just 2 more hours, you can make it, go home and rest. And that's not how it works. And, my God, they needed advocates in there right at that time. Again, a lot of these young kids, it was their very first job, and they wanted to impress. And they ended up, blowing out their backs, hurting their wrists. There's a lot of repetitive injuries. One of the problems he did is they didn't transfer people a lot. This is, again, everything I'm stating is my opinion for what I saw inside there. But they didn't transfer people a lot. If you were good on your job, you stayed on your job. What happened? You burned out your arms, you burned out your shoulders. It was just terrible. And again, if you're working good, well, I don't want you to leave that job and work somewhere else. You're fitting in great there. But they're not thinking about rotation and the workers themselves. None of that was done. Ergonomics wasn't thought about either. We had to work on the lift assist, all the different machines. We started -3 on the scale of ergonomics, put it that way, especially with the heavier parts.
And Trump has made a big issue about the immigrants, attacks on immigrant workers. Aren't there a lot of immigrants at that plant at Fremont Tesla?
There's a huge amount. And it's just so damn sad. Last year, I talked to one lady there. I know, again, it's not my business how long she's been here, but she ran out there. And I'm pushing to get my citizenship so Trump can't, take me out of the country. And I was just shaking my head. It's just so disgusting. It's just so freaking disgusting. They've got a lot of Asian. I'm not saying they're from China, but a lot of different, and a huge amount of contractors, from different areas.
And they're from Afghanistan. They're workers from all over the world at that point, aren't there?
Yes, they are. And Fremont has a huge Middle Eastern population. And believe it or not, there's a huge amount of engineers there's more engineers that I see there of Middle Eastern descent, which is great. And here's another thing, too, is it just makes me just want to throw up. He's so mad about DEI. Are you kidding? Tesla is DEI, you idiots. DEI is a positive thing. That means everybody. And I can't believe what he's doing, from the plane crashes to everything else. What's so funny is Musk is going to sit there and tell him, oh, yeah, DEI, that's DIE. That's what it really stands for. You know what, idiot? You've got DEI at Tesla. You have a whole department there for DEI. If you look around, you hire DEI. So he can't, again, hypocrisy rules supreme at Tesla and in the government right now.
And what do you think about what people in this country, working people should do about what is a fascist government, Project 2025, which is a fascist program? It seems like they're implementing it regardless of the cost to the American people and American workers.
What's funny is, and this is just me. I'm very liberal. It took me a while to accept that America has been misled this badly. It's just going to be a short amount of time, I believe. And again, everything is going to go up with the prices. And I think the majority of people are not going to be fooled enough. Fascism takes out the representation of reporters like you, Steve. The first thing they do, is to try to take out the actual, basic amendment, the First Amendment, by your reporting. So basically, with fascism being in place, all he's going to do is try to knock everybody out of the government. So you can't report, nobody can do anything else, and they can't protest because they won't know why this is all being caused. Again, and he'll go ahead and say, oh, again, the plane crashes, that wasn't because of deregulation, that was because of DEI, get it? And again, I think Americans, although very stupid, I'm sorry, but they need to do research. They really do. They're going to wise up. In a year, maybe half a year, there's going to be protests everywhere, and I'll probably be the first president ever, he will be, to send troops, actually against Americans and open fire on them, because they'll see how he is. He's a psychopath. They're both psychopaths, actually.
Well, I want to thank you. And when did you quit Tesla?
It was the 19th. It was more or less like, I actually verbally kind of quit and just let them know this was crap. And you know what the funniest thing about it is that day, I was trying to make it through the day, and my orders were getting behind. And the wonderful thing is that the actual forklift was broken, basically. And I've been talking about it, and I was just really pissed off. And I had no forklift. So all of a sudden, my orders get behind. And it's funny because I want to get my orders done. And it wasn't going to be a line down. It was very close to that. And I had the manager walk up and ask why I wasn't working and going on. And I blew up on him and said, why do you think I have no equipment? Of course, the richest man in the world owns this company. So what the fuck is wrong here? And I just professionally lost it. And it just all came out. And I just had enough of it. You know, I just had enough of being in there and suppressing everything that I was feeling about how he is. And you hear day after day after day his antics. Well, come on. So that was it. On the 19th, I just walked out. That was it. At the end of that day, I left and I shook my hands with a couple of people. People knew I wasn't coming back. That was going to be it. And it was the right decision. It really was. You know, I mean, I got my own issues now, but my God, a weight's been lifted off. So I don't feel like I can look in the mirror now when I shave.
Okay, well, thank you, Branton, and the struggle will continue. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it will. Okay, thank you, Steve.